to change the way that your body looks. It's a matter of changing your habits, and you have to have a habit of eating better. Like I had saw something on social media a few days ago, and so I was like, something. My diet ends on like Sunday, and he was like, oh, the diet's done on Sunday. I can go back to normal. But then in my head, I lost 60 pounds last year. It's That's impossible for me to think about the way that he said it like that. On the diet ends on Sunday, I could go back to normal now because it's like if you think about it that way, you're gonna gain the weight back. Type of two in the chat if that makes sense. So it's like trading when people don't get on the charts to trade every day because they get discouraged, so on and so forth. I get discouraged all the time. Like y'all watch me get discouraged and got my ass whooped in front of the whole world for like 6 to 8 weeks. And it wasn't really like an ass whipping because it was really my ego whipping my own ass because I done made thousands on every account flip for the most part. My ego just wouldn't take it, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's ego that wouldn't take it. My my tail wouldn't take it. So it's like it brings me back to that 65K trade for that one specifically because it's like it was a science experiment because I didn't know how fast it was gonna go, how long it would take, and the volatility. I wouldn't have expected it if that makes sense. But I swing the axe the same way. But in my down periods, I spend a lot of my time sharpening the axe. So it's like, say if I started the account top of the week for $500 and then I make $600 in a few hours on an overnight session with everybody because I spent the last 2 days watching what the market was doing, making the decision from there, and then understanding, going back to the last foundation of tying all the knowledge together, and then it's anticipating that I am in a London session last night. London session is typically a pullback session in the market. So if the market to me is historically bullish and we are at a weekly point on most time on most assets, the forex side is coming from the high points, but the assets from the crypto side is coming from the low points. So now we got forex um looking like what crypto did for most of January to where it could come, say, down, right? You see what I'm talking about? And then until it breaks this, then it's like we don't really necessarily have to worry about a buy. But while it's getting held down, if this 15-minute chart can hold it for 7 days, why can't this one hold it down for 7 days? But then just the same, if it can be held down for weeks, then why can't it go up for weeks? Like it has been. So that's my mindset behind it all. So it's like the right information, you're gonna get you're gonna get faster knowledge with the right information because like all I did was anticipate us being in London session, understand that US session and Asian sessions match. So Asian session is typically a preview of what a US session is. But because I wake up late, because I stay up later, like I typically go to sleep at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning sometimes if I do go to sleep. But then I'm gonna wake up at like 10, 11 o'clock, technically. But then that's later in a US session. Right? So my habits are still the same. I'm still waking up for US session. It's just later in the US session. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm late on the time that I wake up because really I wake up after all the manipulation, right? So it's like if I wake up after all the manipulation, then it's like I don't have time to time the market because technically I would have missed my entry. I would have missed my time if that makes sense because I would have been asleep. Right? Type of one in the chat if that makes sense. I would have missed it because I would have been asleep. But because I take a more swing approach, I don't have to be presently there if the way that I approach the market is present. Right? So it's like we made $600, but then I watched cop shows last night. I looked at, Newton's law. I studied the pendulum. I studied the person that should I ordered a book on Amazon about that too. So I've only read like one giant book really about trading. It was that Naked Forex book, right? I had told you about that, and that's what taught me technical analysis. But then it's like Forex is what took me from zero to my first seven, and then crypto futures. I always say it's gonna, be from where I am now to 100 million, and it's gonna be a lot faster because crypto compared to the rest of the market is the dot com boom. So it's like the dot com boom was because of technology. Think about the technology during the dot com boom and the stocks during the dot com boom of Apple, Tesla, and the prices that they were back then. if people would have invested, say pre-IPO, say $10,000, it's like boom, they would never have to work again. Facebook, it's like when Facebook was made, Mark Zuckerberg went to some friends trying to get investors, trying to see if somebody would invest, but it's like that people only risk what they are comfortable with risking, and once they go over that number, they don't want to risk again. That's gonna be their Achilles heel, if that makes sense. My Achilles heel, I can articulate would be like my mom's, mental illness, because it's like spiritually I think of it as a way of grounding myself, because it's like because of that I have to go back to my habits, but because of that situation it grounds me, because it's like I know that's my Achilles heel, and it's like I got to think of it spiritually of a way. It's not my fight. It was a fight that was before me. It's the fight my grandma, is the fight my mom is, but my fight is different, because my fight, like I said, is the one that breaks the generational curse. So my response isn't the way people would expect my response to be, if that makes sense. But just like my response to the market wouldn't be the way people would expect my response or approach to be, because their approach has been different over a longer period of time. So it's like I have to understand what's a necessity that needs me present and what's a necessity that doesn't. And when I think of the point of why I had, Aubrey, granted, I didn't think I could have kids. Right? Although I was young, I just didn't think about that outcome, right? So it's like you gotta have a deeper why than it just making money, right? My deeper why came from being able to survive for Aubrey, because I mean, if you guys don't know me, like we had, I mean, my kid's 8, right? But we had almost gave her for adoption because we was really that broke. We wasn't planning that far ahead because we couldn't fathom the idea of having a child. I couldn't fathom the idea of having this child in this world. And I already knew my mom was fucking crazy, so it's like I wouldn't have had no support system. But then, it all worked out the way it was supposed to work out. But I would have never thought it would have worked out that way. I became a trader, not because I was trying to be a trader, but because I was trying to leave. Not shit, I wasn't even trying to lead the restaurant and shit. I was really just trying to make some more fucking money. You know what I'm talking about? But then it's like one thing led to another. My decisions at that moment in time back then led me to make a decision that I made. And then now I'm here 8 years later. I'm like, wow, I don't know anybody that would have done this back then, but it all stemmed from a conversation I was having with mom and grandma at that point in time, which was about Social Security and how, by the time probably my generation got up there, there probably would be none. So it always came to no matter what you do, no matter how much you got to find a way to make money faster. And you can't necessarily be awake 24/7. Therefore, you have to understand that the knowledge that I give you in the course, the knowledge that I give you day to day, the way that I try to implement in the direction of the knowledge to keep you guys on track in the signal spot, is because you have to find a way to make money faster. And not only find a way to make money faster, you got to find a way to make money while you sleep. Just like energy is moving 24/7, the world is moving 24/7, the markets and assets are making money 24/7. Us as individuals, and even though I have a lot of money, I don't have no fucking Jeff Bezos money or Mark Zuckerberg money or fucking Elon Musk money. The money still has to work for us, just like their money has to work for them, because billionaires, they don't just have $1 billion sitting in an account. They still have to buy assets, because that's the only way. It's like the further you go, the deeper you go into studying the rabbit hole, do you see more and more why assets run the world. So now you're thinking about the billionaires, so how they just don't have $1 billion sitting in an account, $1 million sitting in an account. They have it, most of it invested in assets. They might have 100,000 or so, or seven figures in an account, which I don't agree with that either, because banks only cover insure so much, to where it's like they have to invest in stocks or they're going to lose half their wealth. And not even just stocks, assets in general, no matter what it is, they have to invest in assets or they're going to lose half their wealth to taxes. Type of three in the chat, that makes sense. So then it's like understanding that side, you always got to find a way to get back in the wave. So the wave is energy. The wave is waves and energy, electricity. It's a way of thinking. It's the way the market works. The market works a wave, life works a wave, so on and so forth. So yeah, look at it that way. So if the market is coming down and we got, lower lows and lower highs, and then on the forward chart it's making lower lows and lower highs, there's nothing the 15-minute chart and the 5-minute chart can tell me, right? So it's like no matter how low the 15-minute chart and the 5-minute chart get, it's like I still have to go back to what the higher time frames are telling me. So just because something breaks doesn't necessarily mean like is going to hell forever. It just means one of these time frames need a how do you say, like a retest. So then it's like, where would your retest be? Where does the energy flow? It flows over here, but it's like you never get to this side of things if you're not able to take accountability for self, for your actions outside of the market, for your actions within the market. Type of two in the chat if that makes sense. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like it's bigger than what people thinks. It's bigger than what just getting money, because getting money is not going to get you the answer. It's not going to get you the long depth answer, if that makes sense. And I can only catch buys and sales for a longer period of time because I'm always constantly trying to chase a better version of me, if that makes sense. And a better version of me is making money in the market at a faster rate, not because I'm doing more, but because I studied more and it's just right there in front of me. So it's like moving down a time frame to a lower time frame, it makes things easy for me of, if I understand the days of the week and I understand that, oh yeah, that's what I was looking at. That oh, it was Jasmine. Yeah, yeah, it was Jasmine was looking at. We're done with the GU side. If I understand that on the first of each month, the market typically goes up. That's actually what I did in October too. I did a $2,000 account. I turned it into 20,000 on the first of October in a day and a half. Was it Jasmine? Oh yeah, it's Pepe. It's Pepe. Here you go. I'm finna show y'all. I already had it. I sent the crypto mentorship it already. Is it daily? Oh, weekly. Hang on, I got you. Monthly. Oh yeah, I think it was this. Okay, here we go. Okay. So you see here, low for June 1st, July 1st, November 1st, December 1st, January 1st, and then October the 1st. Remember I said I did 2000 to 20K. I didn't do no big ones these 2 months, but these 2 months didn't really. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, even that makes sense too. This setup, because it would have had to come from a low point if I was buying. So these didn't come from a low point. So I was like, oh, that even makes sense right there. Okay, so then look at this. So if we are always buying and the market kind of goes up on the first, then it's like, look at how it works out. Of this is a low point, but this is on the 31st. But it just looks like that. Hang on. Where is it? Well, this is a low point. This is on 31st. This is on 31st. This one. So all your low points, you got to see where they land basically. And if the low point, if you're a low, then you can lead to an uptrend. If you're already at a high point, the market's typically going to pull back. So you got to be ready for it. So it's like looking at how the market was on, well, shit, this morning, it was kind of a situation to where it looked like this. You saw how we just looked at, let me do it this way. Was it Jasmine? Yo, yeah, it was Jasmine. See how we looked at Jasmine, but we looked at it on the lower time frame and we were looking at it from this standpoint. Beep, beep, beep. Now look at it like this. It's this same one right here, except it's this. Hang on. Oops. That whole drop right here is similar to this drop here. This drop is on the daily chart. This drop is on the 15-minute chart. Your 15-minute chart is going to show you your entry faster than your higher time frames, because by the time the daily chart shows the entry, it's been days, right? And then by the time the 15-minute chart shows entry, you can actually watch those higher highs and higher lows form. So we caught the sale here, we caught the buy here, but we caught the buy here because it's been buying over here the whole time, and it's the end of the month. So if I see December 31st, and I know what they did, November 31st, what was it? Oh yeah, yeah, right here. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, I like looking at this stuff. This right there. First up. Today in the crypto world is technically the first. It's time to go up. We did it in November. We did it in October. We probably did it August, September. But I wasn't a part of those ones. But for sure July, for sure June, so on and so forth. So it's like I have to use those patterns and look deeper within, because the answer is still the answer. But because people are so used to the way that supply and demand works, they think just because the market is low and that we took out this technical, well, it's not even a technical quarter point there. It's not even a quarter point. That's 0.59. That's six. That's like 6 cent technically, but it's not something that I would use. So it's like I have to go back to my weekly chart. It's showing you a weekly bullish uptrend of low point, higher low. And from a higher low, I want to buy a higher high. I can't buy a higher high to go higher high. I gotta sell higher low. I'm sorry, I gotta sell higher high to go higher low. I gotta buy a higher low to go higher high. But I don't have to sell the higher high. I could just wait also. But the wait is you don't know how long it's gonna sell. That's the one issue, but it could go up forever. But your higher time frames are already showing you the preview of what the market is going to do. Your lower time frames is their job to fit within that. Your weekly chart and monthly chart matters a lot more than the 4 hour chart, 15-minute, 5 minute chart. But if you're able to find direction on these higher time frames, then being able to sail across the lower time frames will be a lot more simple for you, if that makes sense. Um, so from a monthly perspective, December the 1st was a low point, and then we started bouncing out January 1st, and then we're beginning our second month, NFP week today, technically February the 1st, even though it's the 31st, because after 5 p.m., the market